We went golfing yesterday, and my entire upper body, from like hips to shoulders, is in so much pain. I could barely move. I could barely sleep.
It doesn't hit me till it'll be tomorrow.
It's like I haven't moved this much in at least a year. Do you guys like golfing? I love golfing. I love it. Do you find it weird that it's something that I love that much?
Yes.
Why do I like it so much?
I don't know.
But like I could keep, like we played 18 holes. I could have kept going. I was having the best time.
Yeah, it was a good time yesterday.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple. You picking your nose?
No, scratching. Itchy.
Remember when people used to do this?
Yeah. Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I'm picking my nose. Yeah, exactly. And then there was the one kid that was actually picking his nose. We all know that kid. It wasn't me. I'll tell you who it was.
Who?
His name was Scott.
Really?
And there was also one named Andrew. They were always picking their nose.
There was a...
Even in like grade 5 and 6.
There was a girl in my elementary school. I remember her first and her last name. I'm not going to say
Well, I know their first and last names too. I wouldn't say. Hello everyone and welcome back to Foster the Meeple, a channel all about
board games.
And
board gamey things.
Exactly. We are here today with another episode of Board Game Snapshots.
Veggies!
Ja! I get to do it loud. I probably shouldn't have done it that loud, eh?
I do it quiet so I don't burst people's eardrums.
Board Game Snapshots is a series where we do 5 mini board game reviews. And that's what we're here today to do. We got 5 games we want to chat with you about, so let's get into it. Let's start with this little one. The first game we are going to talk about is Nimalia, and this is from Lucky Duck Games. This game was sent to us for review from Lucky Duck Games, so thank you to Lucky Duck Games for sending this to us. This game I love because it is so cute. Number 1, there's a panda. Number 2, otter. Boom. Penguin. A penguin, according to Cumberbatch. What's his name? Benedict Cumberbatch. This game is a simple card placement grid game in a nutshell. Those are the words.
It's got like elements of like King Domino in it.
It has elements of Sprawlopolis in it.
King Domino, Sprawlopolis, and maybe something else. But...
Yeah. In this game, you're going to start off with 5 different objectives, and those objectives are matched to different colors. So there's red, blue, green, yellow. There's only 4. And you play over 5 rounds, and every round you are going to be scoring whichever objective is attached to that number's color. So the first round you might be scoring blue and yellow. Second, yellow and red. Third, whatever. And the 2 last rounds you're scoring 3 different colors. Mm-hmm. Okay, which is a bit of like a cartographer-esque piece of this
That's the
game.
other one.
That's the other one. So basically you are going to be drafting some cards. You're each going to start off with 3 animal cards, and you're going to look, you're going to take one, and you're going to place it in your reserve in front of you. So the rules of placement are you always must cover at least 1 square of the grid. Each card has 4 squares of different things. They'll have an animal and a terrain type. Mm-hmm. So you always have to cover at least 1. So you take your card, you place, you pass. You take your card, you place, you pass. Place and pass, and then you score the objectives for that round. That's the game.
Yep.
The objectives could be many different things. There's a ton of variety within it, but it could be whoever has the longest river. 2 points per square in your largest savanna.
Yep.
Like 3 points if you have a penguin, only 1 penguin in each row.
2 points for every gorilla you have next to water.
Exactly. Those were all of the objectives that we've played with. So it only plays over 5 rounds, relatively quick. You can only make a 6x6 grid, which just adds to the complexity of the game. Mm-hmm. Like, for such a small and simple game, it gave me analysis paralysis, because like that last card, I was like, what do? I can't cover my penguin. But if I don't cover my penguin, I'm covering up my gorilla, and so I'm going to lose points there. So you're just trying to maximize your points within this 6x6 grid. It's super cute, super easy to learn. It's puzzly, it's fun. Does it play at 1 player? I don't think so. 2 to 4 players. Ding dang. I bet there's a way that you could probably figure out how to play this solo.
I very much enjoyed it. I mean, I've expressed numerous times that I very much enjoy King Domino. and this felt like King Domino. And I also love Cartographers, which actually is right behind us, which is interesting. I have not played Sprawlopolis.
Any of the Opolyses.
But I think if you like any of those games, like this is something that you should probably do a quick check into.
So I'd say if this is something that you feel like you're interested in, it'd be good for your group. It does play 10 and up. So kids can play.
Oh, I definitely think it'd be a good kid game. Yeah.
Yeah. Very, very cute. So that is Nimalia.
Next up, we have from Z-Man Games, Akrotiri. So this was one that we stumbled across on the BGG list, Have We Played It, that we do. Akrotiri is a 2-player only pick up and deliver game where basically you are building out this map with a bunch of different resource types on it. And you're going to these islands in order to get those resources and bringing them back to Thera in order to basically put out your monument on your monuments. And in order to do that, there's like kind of placement rules wherein you're trying to build out the map that's beneficial to you. So each card has like a unique terrain type that's usually associated with like a color. And in some instances, your temple might only be able to be placed below a red terrain, but above 2 blue terrains. And it's a really puzzly way of like pick up and deliver, but also just building out a map, almost like as if you're a cartographer or something to that effect. I thought I would like it more than I did.
I liked it way more than you did.
Jamie liked it way more than I did. It's way more puzzly than I thought it was going to be.
It is a brain burner.
I really struggled to like grasp the placement rules of the temples. Because again, it's like you can use anything on the map to meet your conditions for placement. So it's tough because it's like, I need a gray terrain type on the left, but it can be anywhere left of an island that I can place a temple on. There's also the personal objectives that you need to achieve in the game as well. And it might be something like have a temple on a red terrain island, etc.
Or have temples on, you get 2 points per temple that's on an island that doesn't have a path to another island with one of your temples.
So it's very simplistic in terms of like what you do on your turn. It's basically move, collect, deliver. There's some little bit of like nuance with how you can travel. Like you can basically travel from any dock to any dock as long as they're attached. Or you can portage, which is, a canoeing, boating term, which means you pick up your boat and go walk across the land to the next dock. I think it was just one that I got really hyped about because it sounded so in my wheelhouse.
Yeah, Jeff wanted this one for a while. We bought this at Lancelot Games. And I definitely think it is definitely more of a me game than a you game in terms of like the puzzliness. Although it is a bit of route building and pick up and deliver, which is something that you like. But I do think like it's not a hard game, but it's fiddly might be the right.
Yeah,
there's just like little things.
There's some instances of games that just my brain does not process well, and I would think this would be in that realm of like it hits every note of things I enjoy: pick up and deliver, route building, etc. And the theme. But for some reason, the puzzle, my brain just cannot connect with. I just am constant like I'm not really fully understanding what I need to do. But yeah,
I think it's just one that you need to play over and
one
over
I definitely
again.
want to return to for sure.
100%. And it's Jay Cormier and Central Lynn.
It is.
Whom we love.
Two lovely Canadians who we love most of their games. So
next up we have Diced Veggies, which is a new game from Kids Table Board Gaming. They did send us this game for review, so thank you to KTBG for doing that. It's so cute. Like, just look at it. Would you look at that?
We also played it on stream.
We did,
So if you want to check out a gameplay of this.
Yes. Yeah, we did play this on stream. So basically, in Diced Veggies, in the standard game, so there is a way that you can play it that's a little bit less complicated if you're playing with children. But in the regular game, you have a butt ton of dice, like this huge pile of dice. The dice are all different colors, and each color represents a different type of ingredient. Carrots, onions, peppers, etc. So to start, you're rolling all of these dice into this little tray and you're like shaking them around to make like the perfect little block of dice. Very,
it's like a 5x5.
very satisfying, okay? And then you have a meat cleaver, because why wouldn't you? And so on your turn, you're going to have
a meat cleaver to chop veggies.
Exactly. Well, it's a cleaver, veggie cleaver then, I guess. So on your turn, you're going to have a hand of recipe cards as well as hype cards, I think they're called.
Yeah.
And so you are trying to get dice in order to complete your recipes. And then there's going to be some special things that you need to do in order to hype up your recipe. So as an example, like one of the hype cards might be like World's Best or my dad's old recipe or whatever it might be, and you need to add something. So basically on your turn, you're taking the cleaver and you're chopping some dice off of the dice block where you can actually like cut and then pull them away. So you can't take anything from the middle. They have to be on the outside, and the pips on the dice have to be equal less than 10. Those are the rules for taking dice. And then you've got a little pool of dice. If you've got the ingredients that you need, then you can make one of your recipes. The artwork in this game on the recipes is stellar. Like, it literally makes you just think like, oh, I want to eat that.
We've gushed numerous times, I think, about KTBG and their artwork and their style of light, family-friendly games. Yeah. And it's something we very much enjoy. Totally.
And this is a relatively quick game to play. It says it takes around 30 minutes, ages 6 and up, 2 to 4 players. It is extremely family friendly, but as 2 adult humans playing it, I had an absolute blast. I do once again think this is probably more of a me game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I mean, it gave me a lot of feels that I've wanted from games with a similar theme, like Kitchen Rush, for example, without the stress of something like Kitchen Rush. Because I really enjoy the theme of like cooking and fulfilling orders. Like, I enjoy that. And this was a really unique, that dice.
Yeah, so unique.
Ingredient kind of mechanism.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed.
Yeah, because like there's certain things that you need, and then you can only have so many recipes and hype cards in your hand and so many dice in your pool to carry over. So sometimes you have to make a decision because you do have to draw a card at the end of your turn. You're like, you look at the dice pool, you're like, the tomatoes are all in the middle and this recipe needs like 3 tomatoes. So like, should I just get rid of this card even though it has lots of points? So yeah, you're just playing, and I can't remember what the end game trigger is now. But you're filling, when somebody gets 7 recipes.
Yeah, I was going to say,
completed.
I think it's recipe
and
totals, yeah.
I really, really, really enjoyed this. Like, I actually enjoyed this even more than I thought that I would, which I find tends to happen when I play KTBG games.
I think also, too, like, we didn't really have any expectations going into it.
I didn't know anything about it.
We didn't know anything about it. I think there's a little nuance to this game that makes me like it a little bit more than I normally would. And that's the strategy of, like, the 10 pip piece.
Yeah.
Like, so Jamie alluded to the fact that, like, the dice that ingredients, or the ingredients that you cut off of the block, the maximum it can be is 10.
Yeah.
And, like, that actually becomes so much more important than you would think it would, because you need specific ingredients, but you also don't want to waste a turn taking, like, 1 dice, because you need, like, a tomato, but the tomato is a 6.
And it's only next to 5s.
It's only next to 5s or 6s. Like, so it's constantly making you pivot. And, like, it's a really unique way to do that, I feel.
Yeah.
If they didn't add that little nuance to the game, I think I'd feel much differently about it. But I really like the way that changed the game up and forced you to do things that you maybe didn't want to do.
Totally. Yeah. Huge fan of this game. So if it sounds like something you're interested in, definitely check it out. Feel free to check out the playthrough that we've done. It will be up on our second channel, so you can definitely go and do that. We literally played our first game on stream. I taught Jeff on stream, so not a complicated one to learn or play. Okay, so next up we have a new hotness game, and this is Earth, which we also played on stream.
We did,
one night. Now, this is a game that has been compared to Wingspan over and over and over and over again. We don't really know why, other than the fact that it's an engine builder.
Yeah, I get it. Like, there's definitely similarities, but I think a lot of times we get too into the, and I've been guilty of this too. Like, this is just like Wingspan. It's like, well, it's not really, but I can see the comparison piece.
Where do we get
I think
this?
It's the Tableau builder type thing,
We bought this at Lancelot Games, so shout out to Lancelot Games in Mahone Bay. Now, in Earth, this is an engine builder, kind of tableau builder type of game. There's 4 different actions that you are able to choose from on your turn. You select an action, you do all of the things, and what's great about this game is that there's no downtime because when you take an action, there's something for everybody else to do. So you are building out a tableau. It is a 4x4 grid of cards that have different types of terrains. Maybe they're event cards that you have, all of these different types of things, and you're just trying to build out your engine so that when you trigger different colors, when those actions come up, that you almost have like a cascading effect of things that you're able to do. So you are maybe growing some sprouts by putting like little green cubies out on your cards, or maybe you're growing some trees, because all of these different things are giving you points for the end of the game.
Yep.
Some of the cards also have end of game scoring, and then there's also objectives that you're trying to get. So all of the cards that you're putting out are all like plant-like cards. But on the scoring board, there's 4 different animal type cards, so the fauna cards. They're going to have scoring objectives that if you're the first person to get it, you get to put one of your little tokens out and you get a certain amount of points. Second person's going to get less points, so you're trying to get those. There's also some end of game scoring cards that you have that are individual to you, but then there's a couple global ones that everybody's also trying to. Essentially, you are just trying to get as many points as possible by building out the engine that works the best for you. You are picking up little poops, aka dirt clumps. I don't know what they're actually called, but they look like poops.
The symbol looks like a pile of poop, so I jokingly call them poops.
So we call them poops. But yeah, that is basically the game in a nutshell. I thoroughly enjoy this game. I have played it solo. You can play this solo. It's great solo. You're playing against an automa that is very challenging to defeat, which is classic of a solo game. We have played it only at that in 2 players, although I am playing it on BGA right now at a 3-player count as well.
I'm currently playing on BGA at a 2-player count again,
So if you want to try it, it is on BGA. I would say like this game is super, super hyped right now. Like people are talking about it a lot. Like people are really enjoying it. I really, really enjoy it as well. Do I think it's my favorite game of the year? Probably not.
The nature theme has never been one that's really drawn me in. Like I would say the same thing about Cascadia and like some of the other ones like Verdant, thank you. There just seems to be a commonality of this theme that's been coming out a lot. I enjoyed this game. It's just those games that really become like play this card that lets you to do this thing and this thing again. Like
it's very puzzling.
My brain just is like, nope, I can't focus on that sort of thing, and so I end up kind of just focusing on like 1 or 2 things, and so far that has not been successful.
Right.
So it's just, I think, a game that doesn't like play well to like how I process games.
Right. Fair.
But I've enjoyed it. It's beautiful. The artwork. I mean, again, if you go check out our stream, there's a couple cards in that game or in this game
stunning.
that like blow me away. Especially the event cards. They're very beautiful. I enjoyed it. I want to keep playing it because I do think it's something I'll come around on a little bit more than I have.
My only thing that I wish is I wished it was flipped. I wish the big stack of cards was animals and the little stack of cards was plants, because I prefer animals over plants. I don't want to look at a bunch of mushrooms, but what I do want to look at is a bunch of kittens. Now, for the piece de resistance.
We did it, people.
We did it, people.
Last up, we have Star Wars Rebellion. For newer viewers who are kind of like, what are you talking about? This has been a running joke on the channel for a long time.
Not quite as funny as Blackout Hong Kong.
We bought this game basically right when we started filming content.
Yep.
And we got it at an auction. After we played it, we identified that there's no X-Wing miniatures. Womp womp.
Womp womp.
Might be why it was on an auction for super cheap. But everything else was there.
But that's why in the B-roll you will see there's red ships that you're like,
those
look
are
like they're from Star Trek.
Those are Klingon ships from Star Trek Ascendancy. So we had a little bit of a mix and match
space
of of different universes, I guess.
Yeah.
Star Wars Rebellion is a 2-player hide-and-seek-esque war game. I think that's the best way to put it.
Yep.
One person is playing as the Rebellion. One person is playing as the Empire. The objective is very thematic to Star Wars. The Empire is trying to destroy the Rebel base. The Rebels are trying to curry enough favor in the galaxy in order to quell the Rebellion front.
Was it quelled?
You're doing that by achieving a bunch of different objectives. Basically, the Empire is really just playing this hide-and-seek game of, like, where is the Rebel base in order to destroy it. And the Rebels are playing out these objective cards, which are very thematic to the movie franchise, in order to basically have their tracks meet. So there's a track on the side of time, as well as Rebel influence, basically, in the galaxy. If those two things meet, the Rebels win. It's very difficult as the Rebels, because the Empire is everywhere, and they have so many friggin' troops that it feels just like Star Wars. If I could say anything about this game, it made me feel like I was actually in that universe.
Yeah.
It played so thematic to it.
And you want to know one thing that was so thematic? Because I was playing as the Empire and Jeff was playing as the Rebels. Mm-hmm. And I had Darth Vader out, and I captured Princess Leia.
And then really skyrocketed the game in Jamie's favor. So Jamie actually was able to capture Princess Leia and then interrogate her to get some information about the Rebel base.
She broke like a twig.
Which really set the trajectory forward of Jamie honing in on where I was.
Tatooine!
And I ended up playing a card that allowed me to move the Rebel base. But I was already kind of like behind the 8 ball a little bit, and then I just didn't have enough resources in order to kind of counteract Jamie after she figured out where the Rebel base was.
Bad guys always.
Long story short, we took way too long to play this game.
We played it for like 5 hours, but we took breaks.
We took a lot of breaks. It was not heavy at all.
So much easier than I thought it would be.
There's definitely some nuance that you need to work through in the book. But
the turns are so structured
it was
in a way
not,
that's like...
It was not the burden, and to everyone that told us it wasn't, kudos to you. You were right.
Thank you. Right.
I think we got psyched out on our own by this. And it is... I cannot gush about this game enough.
I freaking loved it.
It gave me the experience of everything I enjoy about board games.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie and I had an absolute blast playing it.
Yeah. It has like funny moments. It has literally like,
it definitely provided me some of those core gaming moments that I'll remember, 10 years from now.
We love hide and seek games. That's what I've discovered.
I cannot wait to play this again. My goodness, is this thematic to the friggin' movie franchise. And I don't know if I've played a game that felt more pure to the IP than this.
Yeah, that's fair. I am not as attached to Star Wars as Jeff is, but I freaking loved it. I love playing as the bad guys. I love the fact that the entire game, I was like, unlimited power. And I knew the characters that were going out on the board, and I'm like, this is just so much fun. I love hidden movement games. I love trying to find the base. I love trying to deduce. At the end of the game, I knew that Jeff was in one of 3 spaces. And then I did something, and then I narrowed it down to 2, and it just happened to be the one that I picked. And
it started to get very close near the end. Because also, in terms of theme, if you've seen the movies and how difficult it was for the Rebels, all of the objective cards that the Rebels have in order to achieve are not easy.
Not easy.
They take multiple turns to set up, and they can get dismantled instantly. Mm-hmm. So you can be in the Rebel player and be like, all right, I'm 1 turn away from completing this objective, which is going to give me 2 influence or whatever you want to call it towards my goal. And then the Empire will do one thing, and it's like, oh my god, all of that is now gone. But that's thematic. Like, I can't gush about it enough.
If you love Star Wars, if you have been nervous to try it, you've been considering it, you think, oh, it's going to take all day, like whatever. It might take all day. Mm-hmm. But
it did not feel like it.
It didn't feel like it because, like I said, we just took breaks. Jeff went out and mowed the lawn, and we did other things like in between to make sure that it didn't feel like we were slogging, although we were excited to get back to the table every time that we took a break. And yeah, so I would say if it's something that you're kind of like hesitant about, just give it a go because we've put this off for years and it is a regretty spaghetti. That is Star Wars Rebellion, and those are 5 more games that we have been playing recently. Love to know down below what your thoughts are on any of these games. Have you tried them? Are you interested in trying them? All that good stuff. But that is everything that we have for today. So if you're interested in buying board games like any of the many that we talked about today, you should first start by checking your friendly local gaming store. And for us, that is
The Boardroom Game Cafe.
Heck yeah, it is. Do you like snacks?
I do.
You should. And you should check out Munchpack. Why? We got $5 off. You get snacks from all around the world. You love to see it from space and back.
And if you haven't joined yet, we haven't pipped this up in a while. We do have a Discord.
We do have a Discord. Yeah, come into the Discord, have a chat. It is
continuing to grow. It is incredible. It is a awesome, safe space to talk about games and all the things you enjoy in the hobby. And there's so many awesome people in there to spread that joy with.
Totally. And if you want to jump into our private Discord, we do have a Patreon as well.
We do.
So, just so you know, we have games in there and we have chats in there. And we make fun of each other in there in a loving way.
Yes.
That is all that we have for today. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see,
please subscribe.
We hope to see you again soon. And now we say goodbye. Goodbye.
Later it is. I mean, it really depends. I very much enjoy golfing, but it's getting like significantly difficult to go out. It's just so expensive.
So expensive.
Like that round yesterday. I mean, you can cut this out. That round yesterday was like $250.
Yeah.
For us. That's insane.
That's insane. Things these days, am I right? They're so expensive.
It really is.
Come on, people. Get friggin' with it. I can barely even cross my legs. Ugh. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Foster the Meeple. I don't know why I did that. What?
I was just thinking of The Office where Dwight's like, we will not.
We will not.
I don't remember.
It was when he was doing his speech.
Yeah. I can't remember the word, though. We will not requiesce.
Take 17. This game, basically, every game you're going to have...
Sorry. I don't know where that came from.
Probably in your chest. In this game...
Such an ass.